What's up, everybody? We're back for our 26th episode of our weekly comic book list, and I've been slacking. Pardon me, but I'm in the midst of transferring all my comic books from the storage unit back into my home. But we are here this week to show you all the fantastic things that are coming our way for next week. Before we get into that, real quick, I just want to touch on the new Dark Phoenix trailer that came out, and I tell you the truth, I am quite disappointed with them. If it was not for Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, oh man, that movie, God bless him. But I'm telling you, man, we got this, and we were actually wanting something like this. Nothing like that old school John Byrne action, man. It really would have been awesome to see her in the Phoenix suit and then the Dark Phoenix suit. But what you gonna do? I'm just glad that we got Magneto and Professor X to keep the movie moving along. And Sophie Turner is a beautiful woman, but pretty just don't cut it. I guess they wanted her to be more like the Femke Jensen Dark Phoenix. And for me, that kind of sucks. But anyway, let's get into these books. We're going to start off this week with DC Comics. And we have The Adventures of the Super Sons number 8 by Peter Tomasi and Carlo Barberi. And if you are not on that book, you really need to get it. Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent are the new dynamic duo. Definitely the new world's finest. Batman 66 by Tom King and Jorge Fornes. And cover A is by Mikhail Janin, and cover B is by Evan Shaner. Curse of Brimstone number 12 by Justin Jordan and Dennis Cohen. And I haven't been picking that book up, but that cover is sharp. Yeah, pretty sharp. Deathstroke 41 by Christopher Priest and Larry Stroman. Cover A is by Tyler Kirkman, and cover B is by Dave Johnson. One of my favorites, Doomsday Clock number 9 by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. I have been enjoying this quite a bit. Very good read. And cover A and cover B is both done by Gary Frank. Female Furies number 2 by Cecile Castellucci and Adriana Mello, and that has one cover. Green Arrow 50 by Colin Kenny and Javi Fernandez. Cover A is by Kevin Nolan, and cover B is by Evan Doc Shaner. Green Arrow number 5 by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. Oh man, I messed up. What I meant to say was Green Lantern. Cover A is by Liam Sharp, and cover B is by Joe St. Paris. Harley Quinn 59 by Sam Humphries and Sammy Basri. Cover A is by Gilliam March, and the horizontal cover B is by Derek Chew, who seems to be on fire right now. And the big book, really, for those who actually read their comic books, this week is Justice League 19 by Scott Snyder and Jorge Jimenez. And this book here starts the first part of the Sixth Dimension. And I believe the first 3 issues of this, 19, 20, and 21, actually make a connecting cover. And Jorge Jimenez has been going hard on Instagram talking about this. So I would highly recommend any Justice League fan to pick this book up. And cover B, I am not showing. It is by Rob Liefeld, and it is a sin and a shame what they are doing. Young Justice number 3 by Brian Michael Bendis. Patrick Gleason and Victor Bogdanovic, who is a really good artist. Cover A, I believe, is by Patrick Gleason. And cover B is by Evan Doc Shana. He seems to be the man this month for DC's cover Bs. And this week also we have the Detective Comics 80 Years Batman Deluxe Edition, the giant hardcover, that also is coming out this week. And that is it right now for DC Comics. For Dynamite Comics this week coming, we got a couple of books and 2 new books. The first one is Obey Me by Mario Mentasti and Emmanuel Ordaz Torres. Cover A is by Ben Herrera, and cover B also is by Ben Herrera. I have no idea what this book is about, but that cover A, yeah, kind of digging it. Yeah, I like that. Red Sonja number 2 by Mark Russell and Makaro Kolak. We have an Amanda Connor, cover A. Cover B is by Joseph Michael Lesner. And the only other cover D, is the Joe Jusko cover, which is magnificent. You need to pick that up, even if just for a cover grab. And my Dynamite Comics book of the week is The $6 Million Man, number 1, by Christopher Hastings and David Hahn. And this is just, I'm 45 years old. So, you know, this dude is the man for me. Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man, or some would know him as the Bionic Man. Cover A is by Michael Walsh. Cover B is by Yasmin Putri, which I'm definitely getting. Cover C is by Francesco Francavilla. And cover D is by Dennis Medri. I would highly recommend picking up the $6 Million Man. From IDW Publishing, we have G.I. Joe, The Real American Hero, Yearbook One Shot by Larry Hamner and Zai Zama. We have cover A is by Kai Zama. Cover B is by Tommy Lee Edwards, and we have a incentive, a little bit higher price cover by Netho Diaz. For Image Comics, we have Cemetery Beach, number 7, by Warren Ellis and Jason Howard, and I only have cover A by Jason Howard. Die number 4 by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. Stephanie Hans is doing cover A, and Christian Ward is doing cover B. And The Walking Dead 189 by Robert Kirkman and Charles Atlard. And that is it for Image Comics. Next up, we have Marvel Comics. And what are we going to do first? Because I'm skipping some books. We have The Amazing Spider-Man, number 16, HU, whatever that means, by Nick Spencer and Eben Colio. And one cover for that by Greg Land. Avengers, No Road Home, number 4, continuing Marvel's weekly Avengers series by Al Ewing and Sean Izaske. I like that last name. Yasmin Putri is doing cover A, and Phil Noto is doing cover B, which is a connecting cover. Avengers number 16 by Jason Aaron and David Marquez. David Marquez is doing cover A, and we have Greg Hildebrandt doing the Spider-Man's villain cover for cover B. The Black Order, number 5, by Derek Landy and Carlos Magno. We have 2 covers for that. And Huck Lee is doing cover A, and Tyler Christopher is doing cover B. Look at his face. Champions, number 3, by Jim Zub and Steve Cummings. I'm really digging cover A by Kim Jacinto. Cover B is the Spider-Man's Villain cover by Mike McCone. And we have the Women's Day cover by Elsa Charretier. Oh, young ladies dig that. Conan the Barbarian number 4 by Jason Aaron and Gerardo Zaffino. Changing up artists already, are we? Okay, cover A is by Asad Ribic. Cover B is the Spider-Man Villains cover by Mark Brooks, which is currently sold out at Midtown. And cover C is a incentive cover by Greg Smallwood. We have the Pain in the Neck book with its variants this week is Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History number 1. And that is by Paul Sakir and Geraldo Sandoval. Cover A is by Gerardo Zaffino. We have a Ron Lim variant for cover B, and Carlos Pacheco is doing a nice incentive cover. And we have various other covers by, I think, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Got some really cool other covers, as you can see, as we roll out 2 and 3 other covers. And I believe one of them is done by Jerome Opina, who is the artist for From 7 to Eternity, if I'm correct. Deadpool number 10 by Scotty Young and Scott Hepburn. Cover A is by Scott Hepburn, and cover B is the Spider-Man Villains variant by Nick Bradshaw. Marvel's number 1 new book of the week is Domino Hot Shots by Gail Simone and David Beldion. Cover A is by R.B. Silva. Cover B, I guess, is the blank, which I don't have. And then we have the J. Scott Campbell variant, which is, $60. And cover C is by Ryan Gonzalez. They're just going really too far with all of this stuff. Hot book of the week from Marvel, The Immortal Hulk, number 14, by Al Ewing and Kyle Holtz. Of course, Alex Ross is doing cover A. And we have Chris Stevens doing the Spider-Man's Villains cover for cover B. What have we here as we continue? Skipping a lot of books. The Uncanny X-Men number 13 by Matthew Rosenberg and Salvador LaRocca. Salvador LaRocca is doing cover A. We have Bengal doing a cover, Mike McCone doing a Spider-Man Villains cover, and Scott Williams doing an incentive variant cover. They try to hit people over the head with these incentive covers. And I don't have it listed, but you might want to grab it because it is definitely cover price. They have Venom number 11 with that Dave Gibbons Watchmen variant. And it is signed by Donny Cates. Midtown Comics has this book, and it's only $3.99. Get it while it's hot before it's gone. And that is it for Marvel Comics this week. We got a few independents this week. One of my favorites, Walk Through Hell number 8 by Garth Ennis and Goran Sudzuka. You need that in your life. And one other book, which I gotta have it. Boom Studios is killing it again. This book is called Ronin Island number 1 by Greg Pak and Giannis Milonogians. Yeah, I butchered that. By Giannis M. by Greg Pak and Giannis M. And that has, I think, 4 covers. The regular cover is by Giannis M. Cover B is by Ethan Young. That's a pre-order variant. And we have another cover by Chris Anka and a cover by David LaFuente. Me personally, I want all the covers. I'm a samurai dude. This book looks dope. I think it's like a brother and sister or whatever. And it kind of reminds me of Samurais with Avatar: The Last Airbender. So that's it for all the books coming out for the week of March 6th. And I hope you have pre-ordered something, and I hope you get what you like. As for our covers of the week, I guess I gotta put this. I'm not really feeling it myself, but Harley Quinn 59 by Derek Chew. I guess everybody loves that. They're buying them up, getting them slabbed and all of that, but I like the other one better. But I guess the thighs have it, right? Justice League 19, the Jorge Jimenez cover, is mint. And I guess I'll give an honorable mention to the Young Justice B cover with the spot colors all over the place. That's really, really cool. The Red Sonja #2 cover, the Joe Jusko cover, is that's the cover of the week, period. Like, that's the best cover that we have right now. I love it. And that Conan the Barbarian, Mark Brooks, Spider-Man Villains variant is pretty solid also. And if I could afford it, of course, the Domino Hot Shots J. Scott Campbell variant. But I can't afford it. As for the book of the week, personally, I have not read it because the book's not out. But I would definitely say Ronin Island by Greg Pak and Giannis M. is the book of the week. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of New Comic Book Pull List. I will see you as soon as I can at the same bat time and the same bat channel. Peace.